Prime Speaker Zegana versus Najeela the Blade Blossom. And that is a very nice hand. Nature's Law, Thought Vessel. I think that's a turn 2 Thought Vessel. Then into Nature's Law most likely. Yeah, I think that's Island. Yeah, I think that's what we do. We go Thought Vessel and then Nature's Law the next turn because it does put an untapped land into play if we want it to. Oh, Farseek will most likely be cast first then. So let's work this out. If we have 3 lands next turn, we can go Nature's Law into Thought Vessel or vice versa. So this will be a Breeding Pool tapped. Not going to pay the 2 life. Pass over to our opponent and let's take a look at Najeela the Blade Blossom. 3 mana for a 3/2 warrior. Whenever it attacks, or whenever a warrior attacks, they get a 1/1 white warrior creature token, tapped and attacking, and it does a lot of other stuff which we will discuss momentarily. See first if our opponent decides they want to counter a Thought Vessel. Really nice to get Thought Vessel down because it does give us a maximum hand size, or no maximum hand size. Just pretend to hold up counter magic. Yeah, the other ability of Najeela is the main one really. Well, they go hand in hand. Wooburg, untap all attacking creatures. They gain trample, lifelink, and haste until the end of turn, and after this phase there's an additional combat phase. Only activate this ability during combat. So plenty of ways to go infinite with Najeela, or Najeela. I don't actually know how you pronounce her, but looks like a Scandinavian spelling to me, so I assume it's Najeela. And our opponent gets down Cure and Master of the Depths. I don't play this one, I play Crashing Waves, or whatever it's called. Untap. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put a creature card. They're nowhere near the emblem, so I don't think we have to worry about that. Oh, it's the one that fights, the octopus fight, don't they? Yeah. Okay. In that case, why don't we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana into Polukranos off of a Gilded Lotus. And if our opponent has Spell Pierce, then we can actually pay for it. And that's really good that they don't have it. Get green off that because Polukranos isn't blue. And noteworthy that they were F6 there, so they don't have a 1 mana counterspell by the looks of it. As for our commander, it is a 1/1 for 6 mana, and it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power amongst creatures you control. And also, when it enters, we draw cards equal to Zegana's power. And what happened there? They got down Vesuva. Oh, and I think they copied... Did they copy a legendary land with Vesuva? I didn't actually see that. Ah. Yeah, played our opponent. Got a really quick game off with them not long ago, so that's why they're saying good luck again. Where's this Vesuva? If our opponent did Vesuva their own legendary land, then props to them for carrying on playing and not just shame scooping. Okay, they've got down Ramos and they've got down you may cast historic spells as though they had flash. Okay. In that case, I think I would quite like to Curse of the Swine, because I don't like either of those creatures. And then why don't we, before we do anything else, I'm not going to wasteland one of our opponent's lands because they only have 3 in play. And I'm not sure if they made a mistake with these. That might have been something that I missed. Why don't we just get down Prime Speaker Zegana. I want to tap down the Wasteland pretty quickly to show our opponent that we're not going to be using it. We will, however, refresh our hand. And yeah, that's good. Couple of counter spells. In fact, these are the only two counter spells in the deck, so funny that they're stuck to each other there. And Woodfall Primus can only blow up one of their lands, so yeah, I'm not sure what we want to do there. This is what might have happened then. I did wonder how they got down so much stuff with only 3 lands. Yeah, so that's me being ignorant of what this card is. Scorched Ruins taps for 4 mana, and if it would enter the battlefield, sacrifice 2 untapped lands instead. Otherwise it dies, and obviously that's really good with Kiora. So in that case, I think Woodfall Primus blows up Kiora, doesn't it? It does. Let me just double check. Non-creature permanent, yes it does. So that means that we want to get straight into that, because we are at risk of seeing a Kiora. I'm still not going to blow this thing up, because I think I want to have a bit of fun with... We've drawn into a lot of cards, and our opponent only has 2 cards left in hand. We're about to blow up their Planeswalker. So I want to have some fun here and not punish our opponent for playing that land. And then I think they're likely going to only be playing... Oh, actually, we're not going to be able to counterspell, are we, thanks to their Dragonlord Dromoka. So in that case, we'll make as much mana as we can. And then we will just... There's no point swinging in for 6 with Prime Speaker. So we'll probably dump our mana into Pelucranos next turn. I don't know if we have anywhere near enough mana to do that. We'll need 15 to kill the Dromoka. We can see what we get off See the Unwritten. But failing that, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14. We can tap out next turn and Pelucranos the Dragonlord Dromoka. That will be 7 into X twice and then green. And they do, of course, swing in with... I'm not actually sure if they should do that. They do have Mystifying Maze. I might actually try and make them Mystifying Maze our Prime Speaker. Yeah, that's an idea. We'll have to make sure that it goes to exile instead of... What they should do here is block with the boar and not use Mystifying Maze. Which is exactly what they do, that's correct. Yeah, what I was trying to get them to do there is use Mystifying Maze, exile target attacking creature at the beginning of the next end step, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. That, of course, would have triggered Prime Speaker Zegana again. But seeing as how they were clever enough to not do that, we will just see if we can make enough mana. I think I've worked it out correctly. No, it's only 6. That should be 14, 15. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, we need the... I did miscount it. We do in fact need another mana. So, why don't we just see instead what we can grab from this. See the Unwritten, reveal the top 8 cards. We get absolutely nothing. That is the worst See the Unwritten I've ever seen. We do get into the mana for Pelucranos next turn though. We might as well get down the hardened scales if our opponent decides that they want to get rid of Zegana. Then we can at least recast it. Yeah, I did miscount the Pelucranos there. We had 14 mana, not 15 that we needed. Let me just go over it yet again. make sure that we have enough. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 is the one that we need. And they're swinging in again, which means that leaves us up to swing in again if we want to. We'll swing in first, actually. No, I think instead of playing around, why don't we just get this over and done with? And see if we can actually do it correctly this time. There we go, we're up to 7 this time. And it does become monstrous, which allows us to deal 7 damage. So not only does Polukranos become very, very big, but it also manages to get rid of the Dragon Lord Dromoka, which allows us to start casting these counter spells during our opponent's turn, if we want to. And I think if they decide to exile Polukranos, we will be able to... Oh no, they go for our commander. That is not the right thing to do. We are going to draw a hell of a lot of cards here. They are up to 45 life, thanks to their Dromoka gaining them life. Down to 26 now. And then we get back our Zegana. I'll put that thing back on, just in case they go for an exile effect with it later on. And we draw into a hell of a lot of cards. And we do have an unlimited hand size, thanks to the Thought Vessel. But yeah, what they should have done really is gone for the Polukranos. That would have been less damage, and I think it would have removed the monstrosity as well. So that is a downside to it, that we'd be able to use the activated ability again. But no, I think it was still worth doing it to that. Or they could have just exiled the Woodfall Primus, because we didn't have a -1/-1 counter on it. So it's not like that would have hurt them any to do that. And they get a chump blocker. It's actually more useful than you might think, although they can't use Mystifying Maze now. So they're in a precarious spot now that we have all this mana, all these cards, to their just 2 cards. We'll go for Reliquary Tower just for redundancy's sake. And then, without playing around, we'll just go for our opponent's face. And yeah, they just decide to take it because they might not fancy their chances. Yeah. Yeah, just saying to our opponent that they were mana screwed there, as we noticed. They were down on cards, and then they weren't drawing into the lands that they needed, apparently. So, unlucky to our opponent, but does show us what Prime Speaker Zegana wants to do. And it also shows you how many cards you can draw into. I think we have... What is it called? The Closet. I think it's 5 colourless mana, or 5 generic mana for an artifact, and you get to flicker something at your end step. And if we can get that down and just keep using it on Zegana, we can draw a hell of a lot of cards. And the more cards we draw into, of course, the more big creatures we get into. And then even after board wipes, we can play more big creatures, replay Zegana. Yeah, the train keeps on rolling. And as long as you can manage to keep ramping and keep getting into lots of lands and mana rocks, then the game's often yours before you know it. The only way to really make sure that we don't go crazy is to keep us off a big creature in the early game, and therefore keep us off, or also keep us off Prime Speaker Zegana, because if she just comes in as a 1/1, then that is really not good for us. But we managed to pull it off this time, so hope you enjoyed it. Prime Speaker Zegana. I want to play her a lot more as time goes on, so hopefully you look forward to that. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.